Good morning. Now, I've just arrived. I'm talking in a very hushed tone, but I've just arrived in the house and something, well, it quite shocked me. Now, I have to be very quiet though. Very quiet. Now, I know you like to see the broom. I understand that. But last night I left the brooms a little too close together and there's been a new addition. There's a little baby one. So my advice is, if you do have two brooms, unless you want one of those, keep them well apart. Yes, it's Ralph's house. Yeah, well, today we're going to finish off the two-way switching. This is two-way switching part 2. And I will cover this because a lot of people do get confused about these things. So, first thing we've got to do is get the power off. Right, this is with the switch cover removed. Normally these switches, they vary a little bit, but one end is always marked common, and the other end is usually marked L1 and L2, or as this one is, one way and two way, but it's 1 and 2, same principles apply. The live comes in on this live wire, and when you switch it, it returns on this blue wire. So this isn't live and neutral. A lot of people make that mistake. If it was, when you switched it, you'd be bridging the two and there'd be a nice which is not what we want. So the first thing we've got to do, we've just got to alter this slightly before we connect in this 3-core and earth, and we've got to take the common wire and put it in L2. Right, so we'll do that first. Right, that's the live moved down to L1. Right, that's correct. So we've now got to deal with these. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the grey in the common wire. That's the first thing we'll do. Then we'll put the black in L2, and we will put the brown in L1 alongside this other brown. Makes it fairly simple, that way you remember those two. So that's what we're going to do. Put the grey in there in the common, we'll put the black in L2, and we'll put the brown in L1. Right, let's get on with that. So that's all of those in. Important you don't leave any exposed wires, you know, coming out of these things, and also make sure you are actually clamped onto the copper in the wire and not the insulation on the outside. That's a bit of a, well, it's an easy one to make, so, you know, make sure you've left enough copper to sit in the bottom of that and screw those up. So now all we've got to do now is go downstairs and replicate the grey, the black and the brown with respect to common, L1 and L2. So we'll go and do that now. This is actually a 3-way switch, as I mentioned, because these other 2 cables, well, we're switching on porch lights, downstairs lights, whatever, but we can disregard those because the same principles apply. This is a 3-gang switch and it's split into 3. So then you've got your common, you've got your L1 and your L2, and logically, if it's the upstairs light, looking at it up the stairs, it would be that switch, which is the nearest one. That's how they're usually laid out in houses. So, right, so they're all connected, and I shall come along and connect in all these other ones. But we're just going to go and test this first, make sure we don't get a bang, and just show you how it all works. So, right, let's put the power back on. Right, with the power back on, I'll switch this. Let's have a look. Yep, that's great. Bear in mind this is live, but I think I'm fairly insulated there. So that works all right. Let's go upstairs. Yeah, this one works in the same way. So we'll get this cover put back on because that's this upstairs one finished. Oh, that's the switch plate screwed on. Just wants levelling off, and then I can just tighten it that last bit. So that's that. Yeah, that's lovely. The upstairs one, can't quite screw that one on yet because I need to put a little bit of plaster below the box, because you know where the conduit comes up, you can see the cable there, and that area needs filling. So I'll just mix up a bit of plaster and do that first. By the way, I've just mixed up some bonding plaster, and I make up little batches like this for these filling jobs, and it's great. Now you can put it in quite thick, but not if the plaster's too wet. So it needs to be quite that sort of consistency. See what I mean? It's more like melted chocolate, isn't it? Or melting chocolate. Anyway, as little moisture as you can get away with. I'll say, otherwise it will crack. Whatever I've got left, I'll use it to go with the conduit as well. Right, let's do that. So there we go. Downstairs switch. Tell you what, you get fed up walking up these stairs, or tripping up them. And upstairs switch. So it works from either end. And the extra plaster I had, I've just used a bit more in that trough, and then I'll come over with some finishing plaster, possibly later today, and just finish that completely. Yeah, so job well done. So now the landing light's done, because lighting circuits work on a sort of radial system, so you've got to go from one thing to the other. So now the landing light's working, I can sort the bathroom light, which unfortunately at the moment is permanently live. I've just got a permanent live to it. That was for the plumbers. So now I've got to, well, tomorrow I think, because there's a bit more light, come in, switch off the power, disconnect that live, put up a pull switch up there, connect it to the light, and also connect up the extractor fan. So I'm imagining that's going to be, well, a day's work, I should think. Yeah, so a bit more spaghetti sorting, I think that's the next job today. Someone asked me the other day how I get my internet. Well, I'll try not to use it through my phone, because you know, data charges being what they are. But yeah, I've got one of these. It's a 4G Lite, and it's a portable internet. It takes a SIM card, costs me a fixed cost of about, I think, £25 a month. Unlimited broadband, comes with a little USB charger and plug, so you can leave it in. And you know, I use it at home, and unless my son's at home, I tend to bring it over here, because it means I can take my internet wherever I want. And I chose this really originally because I had a camper, and it was just convenient going away with, you know, take your internet with you rather than have one of these routers and cable and all the rest of it. And I know you get the higher speeds, but I find that's ample. You know, me and my son are on that, we're both watching videos, it keeps up fine. So there's a thought. Well, it's 10 to 2. You noticed how clocks in shops are all set to 10 to 2. I wonder why. Yes, well, that's it for this week. Thanks for watching. Do give me a thumbs up. This is it, Ralph's house, you've got to do that. Leave a comment if you like. And that's it. Thanks for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe.